Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to Conversations with MM. This is Marivir, and we are in another episode of our December holiday issue. So, hope everybody's doing well and enjoying the holidays. And before I go into our guest this evening, I would like to say congratulations to a very good friend whose music I have been enjoying and using in this podcast of ours. Congratulations to Christian de Misones and his band for a very successful show last night. Smooth and funky Christmas. I missed this. This was in Bethesda in Maryland, and it's a full house. And can you see that? And Christian was with Miss Sharon Ray North, and they gave the audience a very wonderful Pamasko Christmas music through jazz. So I should be able to watch that. Promise, Christian. Thank you so much, and more power to you. And speaking of more Christmas surprises, ladies and gentlemen, our topic today is about reunions. Last time I featured a reunion of my own high school class, the Ruby Jubilee of Colegio de la Inmaculada Concepcion. And today we are celebrating the Pearl Jubilee of a very prestigious school in Cebu, Velez College of Nursing. And our guest is a nurse, of course, and a colleague of mine, a friend of mine way back in Cebu. Right now, she is a radiation oncology nurse in one of the major prestigious institutions in Los Angeles. I'm talking of no other than my friend, who's my colleague at the Freeman newspaper in Cebu, Miss Debbie Dixie Duraliza. Hello, Deb. Deb,
Hello,
kumusta?
Beer. Kumusta?
Good to see you. May na lang, kita ta diri
You.
online. How was your reunion in Dallas, Deb?
It was great. As you can notice, my voice is still a little hoarse because it was like 4 days of barely
Laughing.
any sleep. It was all about laughing and talking, chatting. Um, it was like 30 years of since graduation. We most of them I haven't seen for 30 years, so a
Mm-hmm.
lot to catch up
Oh
on.
my gosh. So 4 days. So you had to get off from work. You had
Yes.
to do an advanced leave.
Yeah, I thought I wouldn't be granted a leave because I just joined the team in radiation oncology in my hospital. So it was like from Friday until Monday.
But
Um,
they allowed you.
but it was so worth it. Yeah, it was
Oh
so
my
worth it.
goodness. So you said that there were 63 of you, Deb. That's a
Yes.
lot, right? Daghan.
Mhm.
And
It was
how
super.
many or what's the percentage of that sa inyong batch na ni
I think
graduate?
about maybe almost half
My
of
gosh.
of the of the graduates of Velez College of Nursing. Some of our batchmates moved on to other businesses, um,
Mm-hmm.
not practicing as nurses anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who are still nurses, I would say maybe about half of us showed up for a reunion in Dallas.
Imagine. So how long was the preparation for?
We created a chat group. I mean, the Texas nurses, they were the ones that hosted this reunion.
Mm-hmm.
We created a chat group. I think it was about uh, sometime in late September that we started talking about having a reunion. Our last reunion was way back in 5 years ago in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, and there were only a handful that showed up, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when the people here in the U.S. Um, they were determined to have like reunion for nurses, wellness nurses here in the United States.
Wow.
So yeah, so they began talking about having a reunion and where it's gonna be, and then the the nurses in Texas were so hardworking. They really they really gave it like 110%
Wow.
to make this reunion successful.
Was this ano, Deb, in conjunction with the Cebu reunion? Do you also do
Um,
annual reunions in the motherland?
yes, in Cebu we also have annual reunions, but this was more like a we didn't really coordinate. I don't think
Oh,
we coordinate with Velez College, but this is more of like a just the batchmates talking among ourselves and deciding that it's time to meet up before any of us will be in walkers or in wheelchairs.
oh my gosh! I can see in the pictures na. Grabe ka aligre, no? You have this boodle fight. This is
Yeah,
our
both like with the
usual
welcome
grabe
night,
nga taon.
right? Yeah.
Was this the
And
opening dinner? Is this your opening salvo when
yes,
you met?
that's the welcome party. It was group effort, like
Wow,
um, the Texas party crew. They organized committees like for the food, for the decorations, for the games. So everybody pitched in and everybody helped out to make this reunion successful.
great, great. So what other activities did you do in that 4-day reunion?
So the Friday night was the
Mm-hmm.
welcome dinner, and then Saturday, um, they hired a big bus, and we went to the Fort Worth Stockyard. They
Mm-hmm.
have like this um, Texas Longhorns, those big Longhorns, and then we get to see them parade in the streets. And then there's a bunch of like cowboy um, stuff that they feature in that place, like how to milk a cow or how to ride a horse or lasso and stuff
Wow.
like that. So it's a fun place. And then we went to JFK Memorial. We
Uh-huh.
saw like the place, the exact location where JFK got assassinated. They marked an X on the road
Mm-hmm.
that where the bullets first hit him, and it was surreal. Like
Yeah.
it really hit you like, okay, this is where he got killed. And then we also went to the Reunion Tower. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's beautiful up there. It's like a 360-degree view of Dallas. So it's a nice Dallas is a really beautiful place.
So it was worth it, as you said. So
Yes.
personally, how did you feel when you saw the area where President Kennedy was assassinated?
I got goosebumps when I saw the X markings on the road, because read about it, we saw videos of it, but it doesn't really hit you until you see it for yourself.
Right, right. Oh my gosh. But tell me about this. What is this? Where is this?
Oh, so that's the Saturday night. So every night we have like a theme night. So that
Mm-hmm.
Saturday we have like a cowboy themed
Mm-hmm.
um night, and we had food catered. We had like a brisket and I think mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. You know
The
the
Texas
Western,
cuisine. Yeah.
yeah, Western food.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I mean everybody was dressed up as cowboys. They had cowboy hats, cowboy boots, and it
So
was
everyone were told what clothes to bring.
yeah, there was just they just told us like, okay, this Saturday night will be um cowboy or western night, and then um Sunday night was gala night. So the theme was like black. Everybody should we wear black and formal and with pearls.
Uh-huh. Because that's your Pearl Jubilee.
Yeah, because it's a Pearl Jubilee.
Oh my gosh. Tell me about this picture too.
Oh, this there was in near the in the poolside, and we were wearing um our t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And Troy, one of our classmates from Chicago, he gave us like pearl necklaces with um
Oh.
a shell that had like a Pearl Jubillee um on it. So yeah, that was the whole batch. And during the whole day, we had a lot of games and dancing and karaoke, of course.
So
And we had like love teams, because we were
love
a
teams,
co-ed, so there were so there was boys and girls. So we had like the love teams that back in the college days,
really? Like
paired
really
up.
old sweethearts? Old
But
sweethearts?
yeah,
Oh,
the college
paraan nga uyab
sweetheart.
yun.
Yeah, and then some of them got married. They ended up
Oh,
together.
that's great. It's awesome. So, let me show this. How did you come up with this beautiful memorabilia? It's like a
It's one of
token. It's
the
like
stuff that
our
they gave
bayong,
us, the
Bisaya.
souvenirs. Yeah, there were a lot of them. That was the only one that was the only picture that I gave you. But there was a lot of souvenirs that was on the like goodie bag. They gave us
Mhm.
goodie bags.
So, what is your takeaway when reunions happen? What do you realize? Like, of course, you have great memories going back to your reality. So, what
Mm.
does reunions make you feel, or what impact does it give you?
Well, aside from like the feeling of nostalgia and you know um remembering all our antics and all our shenanigans that we got into way back in college.
Yeah.
Um, it also reminds you of your mortality. That you
Oh,
know life is so short. You
yeah,
feel like 30 years have gone by so fast,
yeah.
and and that's why we were all determined that weekend that we should keep this up. We should continue having these reunions. At first, we
Mm-hmm.
were like, okay, we'll see each other in another 5 years. But some of them like, no, 5 years is too long. We should see each
Right.
other sooner
Every
than five
year.
years. Yeah, before any of us will be in wheelchair or in walkers, or
Yeah.
so especially like after COVID hit in
Yes.
2020,
Oh
like
God.
I was in the hospital for a long time too with COVID. So it really makes you value life more. I was like and and it's not just the job that keeps you going. It's more of like family and friends.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
So it's just like reunions give us strength, right? And like
right.
an attitude to look forward to and be grateful.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. And let me go to your experience as a student of Velez. So Velez is on Ramos Street in our good old Cebu City, where I
Yes.
was also born, Debbie. Panganak ko sa Velez. I just remembered now na my
See?
mom said I was born in Velez in the maternity house or something.
Yeah,
So I
the
wonder who's the
maternity
doctor who helped me come into this earth. But thank you. So, grabe ang Velez ang reputation because it always produces top-notch graduates. What kind of what kind of education system do you go through there, Deb?
so our batch produced the top one and top two, and there were a few more in the top 10 that year in 1993. Shout
Yeah.
out to Julie David, who's now the vice president of nursing in her hospital in Florida. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's because Velez, I think first of all, because of a limited number of classrooms in Velez back in my day. So when you go through the entrance examinations, they only got like the top. I don't know how many of us were in the maybe 200
Mm-hmm.
for our batch. So they couldn't really accommodate everybody that passed or the passed the entrance exam. So they only got
Mm-hmm.
the 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 top 200, I guess,
Uh-huh.
for the batch.
So we
So
can say na you are really the elite, the chosen
I would say like the
um,
cream crop. Yeah,
entrance, right?
yeah, right.
So in terms of your how you're being taught theory and practice, how is that different from the other schools if you know?
it also was a good advantage that Velez has her own hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and the teachers there are so amazing. They really, because we're not very di kami daghan,
Mm-hmm.
so the teachers could really focus on the students and how to train us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the only thing we didn't have back then was the psych part, so we had to go to another like facility to practice psych nursing. But the training in Veles is really something else.
Really
It's
rigid.
hard. It's really hard. Um, I think by the time we had our capping on the second year,
Mm-hmm.
almost half of the students were cut. Like they failed the
Really?
yeah.
So what happens if they are cut? They cannot re-enroll?
No, they can't. They can, I guess some of them moved to another school,
Oh,
or
okay.
they just changed careers or
Uh-huh.
degrees.
I think this is a recent picture which I got from Google, Velez College. So these are some of the teachers, I guess, who are also doctors and nurses in
Mhm,
Cebu, Deb. And
mhm.
so, what is your what is your how is the process of you being trained to go into the examination part for the licensure? What kind of
Oh,
training did you receive? Did you have mga practice tests?
we had a lot of um, practice tests and review classes,
Mm-hmm.
and but come to think of it, also, um, Julie really didn't join us in our review classes. I think she just reviewed on her own. She
Oh,
didn't. Yeah, she wasn't part of the the review class. I think we hired like a review center,
oh,
um, but she didn't join us. She just studied on her own.
also it's not like obligatory.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So, and then it was also really good that our dean of nursing, Dean Lumbab, Liliosa Lumbab, she was so amazing. She would really go with the students during the exam date. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I I like I think part of us, I don't know how many percentage, but some of us decided to take our board exams in Iloilo, and she
Oh,
really flew to Iloilo and be with the students, and supported us during the exam date. So um, part of the success of student nurses in Veles is because of Dean Lumbab.
great. So that's like her presence is like your strength, right? Do
Yes,
you like
yes.
go to her and talk to her like if you
Yeah,
remember
she's like a
something?
mother to us because um she was 100% for the Veles students. She
Oh,
was like
nice.
she was always there. She was always in Veles.
So you ask
She
her
had a booth that
questions
you
if you
can
are like,
sleep in there.
mm-hmm. Deb, mangutana mo niya when you are like in a state of confusion, for
Yeah,
example, on how
yeah. She
to
was, she
to
was like a
approach a
mother to us.
case. So she
Yeah,
would guide you.
yeah.
Amazing, no? But you know what? I am a little bit sad because you are 63 in your reunion, and that's
Mhm.
like you said half of the graduates in your batch. So it's like mawala na yun ang mga nurse sa Philippines. How does that make you feel too that you are mostly outside Cebu or the
Outside the
Philippines?
Philippines. Yeah, in a way, it's like all these talent and all these skills that the Filipinos can't really take advantage of, and we can't really serve our countrymen.
Mm,
But in a way, because the Philippines also has they don't really take care of the healthcare workers there
uh-huh.
in our
Really?
country. They pay us very little, just peanuts, and it's
I
not
know.
worth like
You
like
won't live
all
with
the
it.
stress that you go through in working in the hospital, and di gid makasupport sa family ni mo.
Yes, it's sad because, like, for example, I have my sister-in-law is a nurse and she works in a very in the top-notch hospital
Mm-hmm.
in the Philippines in Cebu. Pero my God, ang sweldo is like 5,000
Yeah,
pesos.
yeah,
It's naman na
they
5,000 pesos and the
yeah,
hospital is so expensive and that's
yeah.
all they can afford to pay the nurse. So
Mm-hmm.
eventually, nibalhin yun, ang the entire family had to move here. That
Mm-hmm.
was the direction. So that's really
Mm-hmm.
sad. But on the brighter side, on the universal environment, the nurses in the world, the Filipino nurses are so respected, right? Because you take care of the sick in a very personal way and very efficient way. So
Yeah.
how is it on your part, Deb? I mean, now I will ask you because naghulat biya ka sa Cebu for a long time to
Mm-hmm.
practice being a nurse and you were a journalist. So how was that? That's a kind
No,
of very unique journey.
I
Naunsa
remember
man sad to?
one of the I think it was Michelle Saw of Sunstar.
Uh-huh.
I think she saw me wearing scrubs, and she said, nga nag-scrubs mo na si Debbie, nurse din na siya." So in the morning, I would I would work a shift in the hospital, and
Mhm.
then kahapon mga 4 o'clock after shift, I would go to the newsroom and then work
Imagine.
sa Freeman up until mga 9 or 10, and like I was working two jobs, but then if you we term it like volunteering in the
Yeah.
hospital, it's you're working as a staff nurse but you don't get paid.
So
So
oh, they're
you get
using your
paid.
labor and you're not being paid, huh?
Yeah, I mean at the end of your work or volunteering nemo, you get a certificate that says that you work certain number of months in this hospital, and then you have the skills necessary to become a full-fledged nurse.
So
So it's like a win-win, I think.
so it's also for your resume, right?
Right? Yeah.
Well, so your future for your future employment wherever
Mhm.
you may want to go to.
Yeah.
That's good. So when you moved to the US, Deb, and then you had to stop being a journalist, did you miss journalism or
I
no?
did. Yeah, I did. It was so much fun because I started out as when it came back to the Freeman, it was Nimrod that got me as his assistant so sports, and
Yeah,
then
yeah. Oh, I
I
remember
went
that.
to Dubai. I worked in a hotel there for a year, came back, and I worked as assistant business editor. Um and then I shifted to opinion editor, and then my
Mhm.
last position was entertainment editor.
Oh,
So
okay.
Natalie Sumada was the one that like handed me over because she went back to the Philippine Star,
Uh-huh.
um, and so I landed her position. It was so much fun working as a journalist.
Yeah.
So if
Perky.
only
Perky man na atong job. Pero wag gyapon sweldo gamay. Gamay gyapon.
gamay ang sweldo pero lingaw,
Yeah.
and then the bond that we create or nindot oy lasting ang friendship nato sa journalists, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
We
it
still
was
reach
something
out to each
else.
other.
Yeah, right.
Usahay.
Yeah, mga XTF people.
Right. So good. And so when you moved here, how is your adjustment when you started working as an RN here?
It was a little tough. Um and it was good that my first assignment was not in a big hospital. It was a in New Mexico. It was in the border of Colorado. It was a small hospital. Pero ang adjustment nimo is how like I not the skills wise because we have that already, and it's good. to have that experience first before coming
Mm.
over here, but it's just the adjustment of the culture of the Americans, and also how they pronounce certain
Accent.
words.
Mm.
Like we were doing like charting at first, like chart check, and then we were saying like H and H, like what is H and H? So mga terminologies Americans, and then also the pronunciation. Like I was reading the chart, my partner was from Arkansas, so di ba marag ka ng kuan ka na sila ilang twang.
Kanilang accent.
So I was reading and I said potassium, and then he turned to me. He's like, "There's no H in potassium. It's pronounced potassium." It's like, "Wait,
Siam, yes.
what was good? My God!" I mean, I thought I was really good in English. I
Yeah,
got
it
schooled.
differs. Okay, how nice. So eventually you acquired the accent when you were in New Mexico?
Yes, and because in New Mexico, because of our Asian face, gamay ra ang mga Asians dito. They always mistake me for being a Native American. So
Oh,
I would have patients who are like Navajo, mga Native
yeah.
Americans. They would start talking to me in Navajo, and then had to explain like, I'm sorry, I'm not Native.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Or the guys would come up to me and say like, which tribe are you from? I was like, what tribe? And then like,
Cebu
you
tribe.
live in the reservations. Like, what reservations are you talking about?
No, right. No, the culture you get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be a little bit, shocked a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
So you moved to LA. So is it much better because it's urban?
Um, well, after the small hospital, I was working as a travel nurse all around New Mexico,
Hmm.
and I settled down in Albuquerque. It's a big city, but when in 2020 when pandemic hit,
Yeah.
it made me realize that I have to be with my family. My parents were already in LA,
Hmm.
so I decided I have to be with my parents, and because tiguang na biya sila,
Hmm.
so I decided to move to LA and be with them.
So grabe yun ang pandemic, no? We had so many realizations, so many
Yeah, so
changes
many
in our
reasons.
lives. And
Yeah.
so did you contract COVID?
Yeah, I thought I had like a bacterial pneumonia because
Mm.
I couldn't breathe right, and then when I looked in the mirror, like my lips were blue.
Really?
Pero- And then I think I was cleaning the bathroom, and I couldn't smell anything when I sprayed Febreze. I was like, so I went to the ER,
Mm.
and then when they took my oxygen, when they checked my oxygen, it was only 58%.
So
So
you were like weak.
yeah, and then the nurses started running and like, what's going on? And then the one nurse said, your oxygen is only 58%. That can't support life. So I landed in
So
the
you
ICU.
naglisod ka ginhawa?
Mura siya gasping, pero
Mhm.
it's not like mura kong kinakamat yun nun. So they put me in high flow oxygen, and then I thought I had like common lang a pneumonia ba. And
Mm.
then later on, I found out like, oh yeah, you tested positive for COVID. And then kuyuan ko ato guys, I thought they were gonna intubate me, and I was
Mhm.
in ICU for I think it was 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah,
What year
before
was
they
this, Deb?
huh?
Unsa nga year?
2020, wala pa mga vaccine.
Right. Oh gosh. And then
Yeah.
so during that time you were sick and you're a nurse. What were you thinking? Did you still want to be a nurse?
Yeah, I was thinking that it's going to be really hard to be a nurse, especially as a travel nurse.
Mm.
Because if you're a travel nurse, dito ka ibutang sa mga you're given like the
Difficult.
worst
Yeah.
cases, and you'll probably be working with COVID patients. Pero um, I was glad also that I had that. Kay murag you really will understand what it feels like, but like yeah, so COVID is really real, because all those conspiracy about that's not
Yeah, that
really
it's made up and all
real,
that.
it's just a it's like a government thing or whatever, but
Mhm.
not until you have it, na ka makarealize nga, yeah, it's real.
Well, I'm glad that you have not put
Expired.
down your no, of course, but you have not, well, because there are many nurses who said na dili na sila mo mag-nurse after they
Yeah.
had COVID
Yeah.
because they got it from work, and so
Yeah.
they chose to retire,
Mm.
which adds to the crisis right now, which we still have
That's true.
this experience nga kulang-kulang ang nurses. So padayon gid kasi mo pagka-nurse.
Yeah, padayon ang pagka.
Very nice.
Para
So
sa ekonomiya.
we owe you. The whole world owes you, and the Filipino nurses. Grabe, grabe good. So doon na pa'y perks ang pagka-nurse, Deb. You know what? My sister-in-law again, like she would go home after, because she's an OR nurse. Pag uli
Mm.
ana sa balay, which is like she leaves the house at 6 or 5 and comes back at like 6 also. Mura na siya ganang nakigsumbagay ni Pacquiao. They look so haggard. Yeah. I
Oo.
mean, every day I see that. Sabi ko, kaluoy ba pud ani nila, uy. And so,
Haggard yun.
cranky, cranky and scared. So, how about you?
Ah, it's the same. Ang stress of being a nurse is not only physical, it's also mental, emotional, because there are some, well, not, there are many patients who are really like verbally abusive also to
Mm,
nurses.
yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. I remember I was walking one day and then there were like a couple of vloggers that came
Mm,
up to me and they said, "Oh, we want to interview you for our vlog. What can you say about being a nurse?" I said it's very fulfilling, but at the same time it's really hard work. It's not for everybody. If you're just in it for the money, then don't become a nurse.
right. Oh gosh.
You really
You should
have
have
to
your
have
heart
the
for
passion.
sick
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to because you see the best and the worst of people.
Mm-hmm.
Being sick, it brings out the best and the worst of people,
Mm-hmm.
and you will you will really see like stuff that you don't see every day. Like you will see poop, you will see urine, you will see like blood,
Oh
pus,
God.
and all this stuff, and you
No
should
way.
not be scared to to touch it and um deal with it
My
because
gosh.
you have to clean a patient up, who's incontinent, and if you're just there like, oh, kung hadlukan ka or kanang luuran ka,
Yeah.
it's nursing is not gonna be for you.
Grabe. I mean, it's definitely not for me. Because like my in my batch sa mga cousins and my sister-in-law, they're all nurses. Ako na siguro journalist nga nagpabilin, Deb. Grabe. Thank you very much for your time. It's really very informative and inspiring. So
It was good
continue with
talking to
your
you.
vocation. I call that's a vocation, right? So
Yeah.
you see yourself as being a nurse in the next, at least in your next reunion.
Until the next reunion. Until
Great.
then, I will let you know.
Yes, yes, yes. And thank you for sharing the article in our website. So
Yeah, our
congratulations
classmates are
again.
already sharing it on their
I
walls on Facebook.
Right, I love it. Thank you so much. So all the best, Deb, and I hope to see you in person
In
again
person. Yes, I'll see
with
you.
our mga friends. Hello to Floor,
Yeah,
to
Floor.
Floor, to Teray,
Teray.
the Freeman people, and also in Cebu, si Jobert.
Jobert,
Yeah,
Jovi.
si Jovi. Oh my gosh. So people are like spread everywhere, no?
Yeah.
Amazing. So thank you so much, Deb, and I wish you all the strength and the compassion to continue your
Thank you,
vocation as a
dear.
nurse.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mwah! And we'll hope to see you again. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was Miss Debbie Dixie Duraliza, nurse in LA. And so we will be having another episode of our Christmas celebration and holiday celebration in December. So stay tuned lang kayo. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. Bye for now. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Veer.